feeling this way since we hooked up.
I ain't walking away no matter what.
Tell me what you're fighting for, and I will fight with you. Cause this is our love story. This is our journey. This is our love story. This is our journey.
Hello family, welcome to our love journey and happy new month.
Hey guys, today is a different setup as you can see. It's just the two of us. We are doing a Q&A.
Yay. I think to also introduce it, it's something we want to do every month.
Yeah.
Because we discuss so many things and we get so many DMs that we can't keep up with. Every month we will, and obviously we changed the format where we used to do a question, but we still can't get into our email.
Guys, the email thing is a problem, and Kono Munyu Sisi.
We've already spoken about this. Okay. I'll take it. You know what? I humble myself, my husband. I'll take it.
Okay, I'll sort it out. I'll sort out the email.
Is that all I needed to do?
That's all you need
I
to
just
do. I'm going to
needed
sort
to
out the
humble
email
myself.
this week. I'll make some calls.
Okay, thank you. So we're trying every, I think last Wednesday of the month, we will have a Q&A where you can ask us questions, not necessarily about our lives, but questions that have to do with conversations we've tackled, and maybe conversations you might have in your, questions you might have in your relationship, or just, whatever we're talking about.
Yeah, so as usual, look, we try to open it up as much as possible in terms of what you can ask, but make sure that it's nothing that's super invasive or like awkward.
Yeah, some
or
of the
weird.
questions I'm just like, you just nosy.
Yeah, so let's keep it respectful.
Yeah. And then just to jump in, today's episode is sponsored by Medshield, the health cover provider that gives you the confidence to live your life in your own terms. Discover 8 affordable cover options with a wide range of benefits and personal well-being rewards. It really helps to have medical aid that covers all our needs. And not only that, but you can go on the website. There's tips for moms. I always get questions on breastfeeding and how to raise kids, toddlers. There's something for everyone.
It's necessary.
Now let's get started. Let's start with a review. It's from, I think people struggle with like spelling their names on the podcast profile because I always get like the weirdest. Like you can see there's a typo there.
I think it's one of those situations where it wants like a username, and usually when people put username, they just put like weird stuff.
I'm going to assume this is Ukuku.
Okay.
Google gave us a 5-star and she said, "Thank you so much for doing this. Please know that it's impactful, so much aligned to your theme for the year. Marriage is such a beautiful thing and you guys are so inspiring. Keep recording these podcasts. Love you so much."
Thank you, Gugu, for that beautiful message. We appreciate it. Guys, these podcasts, like we've said, we're going to keep them going.
They're necessary.
They're necessary.
Challenging, but necessary.
Yeah, and they mean as much to us as I feel they mean to you guys. So we are all in the same boat. We all really appreciate these podcasts.
All right, let's get into the questions. Do you want to read or should I continue?
No, you can read.
Okay, let us start with the first one. Can you change a man's mind about you? Make him see that you're worth committing to.
Can you change a man's mind about you? Like, what do you mean?
Like she wants him to see that I'm worth committing to. Like maybe he doesn't see that and she wants to show that, listen, I'm the girl you should commit to.
So he's not committed?
I guess so.
Maybe you can,
No,
but I wouldn't recommend it.
Be honest.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Task.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible, guys. We are delivered by Christ. Anything is possible, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
If you ever feel like you need to prove yourself to be worthy of love, I don't think that's true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're better off waiting for a person who will find you worthy of being committed.
Yeah,
to
umuntu
from the
kumele
get-go.
akuthande aze akuthande. Like that umpumi kind of love.
Okay, this one, I think it's quite an important one considering the week that we come from. How can we as wives, partners, assist or check on our husband's mental health? This is a conversation we actually had with my girlfriends. And I know you and the guys spoke briefly about it.
We've really been talking about it a lot. I think a lot of guys, I actually got a call today from a friend of mine.
And you
it's-
were shocked. You were just
I
like,
was,
you didn't
'cause-
understand.
Yeah,
Are you checking
because
on
he
me?
sells cars. So I'm like, King, did you get a new car in? But I just think it's paying attention to what people say, to just, because a lot of times, and I know that this past week there's been a lot of notions going around that, you know, men don't speak enough, and that's true, men don't speak enough, but men do speak. It's just that, you know, I feel like a lot of times maybe we are misunderstood, or people just don't hear us, or we don't emphasize,
Yeah, maybe it's
we
that.
don't speak with emphasis.
Yeah.
And so I would say just listen, like really listen. Like when someone says something, or if someone says, I'm tired, I've had a rough week, don't just look at it as a passing comment. Like, oh, you know, people have rough weeks. You know, ask
More
further
questions,
questions,
yeah.
like, oh, what's wrong? What's happening?
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of times that's how we communicate as men. Like, we're not super in depth, or I
But you make
personally am
passing
not.
comments.
But we make passing comments, and we say things, and if you, that's why if you ever say, but you never said, we'll always say, no, but I told you, and you'll be like, but I don't remember, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And so I just think, just pay attention, and maybe be more intentional about having deep, meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
And as weird as it can be, like, it's been very awkward even for me. Like, with my friends, I've had to call them up and be like, yo man, I have to be real with you. It's gonna be a little awkward, but like, I've been lying. Like, I'm actually not okay.
Yeah.
You know, so just kind of be intentional about having conversations where the whole purpose of this conversation is to be deep and to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a good start.
I think from my perspective, what also has helped is saying, hey, I might not be equipped to deal with what you're dealing with, or to help you.
Yeah.
Is there someone I can call that you'd rather talk to? I don't know if that works.
It works, but don't lead with that, because
Okay.
a lot of times that feels like you throwing me off as a problem to be someone else's problem.
Okay.
So more than anything, like, no one expects anyone to have the answers. Like,
But
no one
just
is
be
looking.
there.
Just be there. Just listen and pay attention, and show that you're listening. Show that you're listening. Yeah.
How do you make sure that you and your partners are aligned in terms of goals without the other changing? I think this one, you need to always have conversation. I feel like a lot of our answers are going to lead to conversation.
Yeah,
but
communication.
we're constantly changing. We're constantly dreaming. And also what I've noticed is that when it comes to goals and visions and more meaningful conversations, try not have them at home, because home environment is not always the place to have real conversation. Like, I feel like we have a protectiveness when we're at home, like our
Yeah.
guards are up. But hey, take your partner out. Let's go for coffee. Let's chat.
Let's go
ask
for
some
a
questions.
walk.
Let's go for a walk. A walk is the best thing you can do for your relationship, where you talk and check where you are. And if the other can see that, okay, maybe we're not on the same page, then we say, how can I help? Are you
Yeah.
happy with the goals? But yeah, it's conversation, but in better environments.
Yeah, I think Bumi is very good at that. Bumi is good at communicating. You're really good.
Really?
You are. I feel like you say these things, even though so complain about, like, you bring it up and you
I
say, I don't think
We're on the same page.
yeah, I don't think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important thing to do, because a lot of times you can just kind of leave it until it's too late.
It's too late, yeah.
And once, I feel like there's like a level that if you cross over this level of like a new person, you become
It's just very hard.
completely unrelatable
Yeah.
to your partner.
And the reason why I communicate, not that it's easier for me, it's just I don't know how to be inauthentic. I don't know how to live.
You don't.
Yeah, like, I really don't know how to lie. I don't know how to pretend. So if something's bothering me, you're going to see it from the minute I wake
you're
up.
very upfront.
I'm very upfront. So I guess that helps with our communication. Okay, how healing within a relationship together can look like.
How can it look like?
What does healing in a relationship look like?
Geez, I think it looks like every relationship that you've seen that's lasted a long time.
Okay, give us more.
I think you would be like the idea that relationships that are strong haven't dealt with anything is obviously
Very flawed.
very flawed.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that any relationship that looks or that has stood the test of time, that's what healing looks like.
Sure, that's
It
so good.
looks like that. Like
I think it's a journey. You walk, and I think it's constant, man. And I've been saying this quite a lot, that we think something happens, you heal, and you're done. But we always at some
always
we're
healing.
always gonna offend each other. We're always gonna do things that the other doesn't like, and we have to heal from that. Sometimes to me it seems insignificant and small, but to you it does something to you, and then we have to heal from that, or you do something, and we're constantly healing. But it's important that you check the scale of, or the weight of the hurt and the pain, and if you can't do it between the two of you, get a mediator, get some friends who can weigh in, or family, or a therapist, or a challenge. I was listening to Jay Shetty, and he was speaking about 5 things that we need to consider in a relationship, and I might have not memorized them at all of them, but he was talking about when last did we take an educational course together, or taken a challenge together, like a project. Say, hey, here's our project. Maybe we're learning how to horse ride. And in those moments, it creates intimacy, and it allows me to see you in a different light, in a different way, in a different environment. And I think it enables conversations that can lead us to healing.
Sure, that's good. And I think just to add on to that, I think eventually you build mechanics and certain structures or ways that have been informed by past like miscommunications or arguments or hurts or pain. And you build ways of making sure that doesn't happen. And I think that's what we see when we look at our parents or we look at our grandparents, and we see like they have this way of being together that you can see that it's built over time.
Yeah.
And they're so like close together, and it's so close knit. And I think that's what it looks like. And essentially that I'm just saying, Guti, like it looks like people who are happy.
Yeah. Best travel tips.
Best
Have
travel
money.
tips. It does help. Having money.
Yeah, like I
does
don't want
make
to
it more
travel
fun.
and be counting how much my Coke is in dollars. Like I want to
Yeah.
just,
So I guess travel within your budget then. Go somewhere where you can spend more time doing stuff that you enjoy, rather than going somewhere where you don't even get to enjoy
The place,
The
'cause you
place
spend
because
everything on accommodation.
or you're just staying at the worst place.
Yeah.
And you think the place is awesome, but then you have to come and sleep in this room that smells and stuff. So maybe plan within your budget. So if it means you just go like an hour away from where you stay, you can drive, you don't have to buy flights, but you can use that flight money to do the activities, maybe go hot air ballooning or go on a yacht or do stuff.
Oh, camping. Camping. What do you need to buy?
Yeah, but I think mostly just it's nice to do stuff. It's nice to, I think what I enjoyed a lot about our last trip to Zanzibar was
we could do stuff.
And we got to enjoy the place. We got to
yeah.
do things at the place. And a lot of times when we would go to places, like you can't do anything. You can't do the jet skiing.
Your coins
because when my 1.8 to jet ski and you're like,
if I
I'll just put my feet in the ocean.
You see? So
and
I
it's
think
like it's not the same.
Yeah, I think it's important what you're saying. Travel within your means and build it up, man. Start around you. And then if you really want to do something, start saving, but start around you. Start with a Saturday, then a weekend, then maybe a week. But it helps to have extra income. For example, when it comes to our finances, we have, can I say, a job, an income that's meant for things like that.
Yeah, meant for travel.
So you'll hear people saying, I have 4 streams of income, which means 4 streams of work, by the way.
Yes.
And you know that this stream of income is specifically for entertainment purposes. So I think in our economy, it is important to try maximize yourself, see where you can get some income, such as maybe teaching online. There's a lot of ways you can make income. Or things, I'm a fete. My mom used to sell I'm a fete in the morning. There's just different There's different ways to make money and have that for your traveling. Okay. Been with baby daddy for 5 years, baby's 2 years. We spoke about marriage from the beginning, but he's still not ready. Should I continue waiting or leave him? Ma'am.
I don't know. I
Brendan,
don't
you're
know.
allowed to be honest. We're not saying names. People want to know the truth. And chances are,
Why?
if
Why
you're
is he not
asking
ready?
this,
But also,
yeah.
again, it's not. We don't have enough information to really dig into this.
Well, if it's financial, maybe it's
Could
a
be.
different story.
That's a different story. Maybe feels like he hasn't gotten it together financially.
But we know
to-
that's not a thing, though. If you
What
want
do
to
you
do
mean?
something, you do it.
Yes, but there are people who are safe just by nature.
Yeah,
They are
but
safer
you're not
in
saying. But you
taking
can have
decisions.
kids, but you can't get married.
Tina lento siyenzile. It's not normal.
Okay, but I'm saying you can
Ukushada-
have kids, but you can't get married. Because getting married is not a wedding.
Yeah,
Getting
but-
married is we can go to Home Affairs and sign.
Yes, but maybe that's not an option. Maybe
Okay.
that's not. Maybe maybe the mom wants.
Maybe
a
ask
big
him
wedding.
why.
Yeah, I think have a conversation. Again, this is gonna be the answer for every question.
I feel like you don't want to answer.
Just
You don't wanna be
communicate.
truthful.
No. I'm just saying that. Look, if it's not a money thing,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a bit of an issue. Like if you guys have spoken about it, like, and it's been 5 years, it is a bit of an issue. I think.
Yeah, how is it a money issue for 5 years?
Maybe in Apela now there's a kid, so things change. Like, yeah, kids are expensive.
How do I draw inspiration from influencers without copying exactly what they do? I think know yourself, man. Know yourself. Everything is inspired. I think there's no new idea, right?
Yeah.
Everything derives from somewhere. But knowing yourself, knowing your personality, knowing your contribution, and just exercise creativity, man. I think influence is meant to just guide. But not for you to copy. Like, you shouldn't want to be with someone. And if you find yourself in a place where it becomes toxic, that you start doing everything, you start feeling under pressure because of an influencer, maybe it's time to mute them for a little bit while you find yourself, because that's dangerous. Like, people are there to inspire us, but we shouldn't want to be like them.
Yeah, it's so hard, man,
is
because
so.
there's a lot of benefits to learning from people that you're influenced by, and obviously doing some of the things that they did, and looking at how they've built their brand or their career, or how they do things and how they approach things. But like Mpumi said, it starts to get tricky when you start to think that you are them.
Yeah.
And because you don't have that same thing.
And they are the best them. You can't
They
keep it.
are, exactly. And for them, it's natural. And
Yeah.
they have the work ethic to back it up. They have the time,
Personality,
the personality,
the looks, the
whatever.
whatever.
They have all the things that they need. So it might not work as well for you. So it is important that whilst you pick up from a lot of your influences what you do like or what you ideally want to become, that you also understand what it is that makes you tick.
Yeah.
What is your superpower? What's your superpower?
Yeah, what's your superpower? And you are the best you. Nobody can do you like you. So do you. Okay, a few more questions. How did you navigate not having finances to do the things you like to do in the dating phase? We never felt like that. We lived in our lane, hey?
Yeah, I think we just were.
We've always lived in our lane.
We were just, I'm just happy to be alive. Like, I'm happy, like I always say, like, I'm happy to take the attempt.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how you gotta look at it. I
I'm
mean,
just happy to be here. Just
yeah,
happy to
like,
be
I'm
here
like,
with you.
I'm glad we're here, man.
Yeah.
I think with us, and also celebrating small victories. People always say that. So I think with us, even like our first apartment was so crappy.
Yo.
And we loved it.
Listen.
We would take pictures, send to our family.
And we had everyone's furniture. We had furniture from the Letwabas, the Mondlanes, the Satrayos, I think the Nkonas, every family
Just
member.
all of our family members
donated
donated
a piece of
furniture to us.
and we were happy.
And we made it a home. And
Yeah.
it really felt like home for us. And we thought we were Studio McGee, even at that time.
Even at that time, we
and
did.
it was not even close.
Yeah.
But it's just about appreciating where you are and thanking God for your daily bread.
Yeah.
And and knowing that, yes, I'm looking ahead for better days, but I'm living in the moment.
Yeah. And also I think with dating, we did a lot of sitting at the park. Go and sit at the park. You know, when you're dating, like butterflies are easy. It's not like when you're
Yeah.
married, when you have to go the extra mile to get. When you're dating, the butterflies are still easy. Go to the park, take a walk. If you have extra money, go have ice cream. But just do it within your means. Don't look to be going to Dubai. Kanti, your budget is cheapy. Like, be realistic
Wow.
and be realistic and enjoy the relationship. I think when it's dating, it's time to get to know each other.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be expensive, and you don't have to put your partner or yourself under pressure.
100%.
Okay, how do I stay faithful to God's promises even when circumstances do not align at all to his promises? Contentment. I came to a place where I had to surrender and say to God, even if you don't do a single thing, I love you for who you are. And I think that's what God most times needs from us. And that's why when Abraham had his son Isaac, God said to him, I need you to sacrifice Isaac. And I don't think God was trying to be mean. He wanted to test the heart of Abraham. Is this son of yours your idol, or am I your God? And you know, Abraham went, and just as he was about to sacrifice, God provided. That's to say, God needs to know your heart. Can I trust you with my things? Are you here for my things or for me? And when we start wanting to have a relationship with God, out of what we can get out of it, I think we're missing it. So with questions like this, I think it's always important to ask yourself, why do I serve God? For the things, or because I love him for who he is? And 99.9% of the time, when you surrender and love God and obey God for who he is, the things come. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added. Matthew 6 verse 33.
I love that. I'll also add this. I think that's when, and I was thinking about this the other day, actually this morning, because it was so hard. Because I woke up in the morning and I'm trying to do this thing where I'm like super disciplined and I'm doing the hard things. And the first thing I got met with was I couldn't find my running shoes.
I saw you. You were so mad.
And I was so mad, and I couldn't be mad because I realized, well, I couldn't lash out.
Yeah.
I could be mad, but I couldn't get angry and shout and just shout at everyone and throw a tantrum because I was like, well, this is when it counts.
Yeah.
This is
Those
when
moments.
discipline counts. So it's the same thing with faithfulness. It counts when it's hard to be faithful. Like when it's easy, it does not count.
We can all say praise the Lord.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But when it counts, that's when you know that you are faithful. So
Sure.
I would say work on your relationship with God to a point where you know that whatever may come, I will stay faithful to whatever it is my purpose is,
Yeah.
or whatever I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Because then you know that you're faithful. Because if things are hard and then you leave, you're not
You're
faithful.
not faithful.
You were
Yeah.
never faithful.
Yeah.
You were just there for the good times.
Yeah.
So that's
a
my
good one.
that's how I see it.
Hampumi, please explain more about tithing and planting seeds. What does that mean? To put it in, to simplify everything, tithing is taking 10% of everything that you make and giving it into the house of the Lord.
Yes.
In normal terms, church, right? And I've heard people say, what if I give to widows? Most of y'all who say that don't really give to widows, but it's in the house of the Lord so that the work of the Lord can continue. And that's why we give out 10%.
Yeah, and it's not meant for the widows.
It's not
And
meant. That's
the
that's
widow's
something
money
else.
must
widow's
come
money.
out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Must be like the KFC money must come out somewhere else.
Yeah. So 10% of your gross earnings, everything you make, goes into the house of the Lord. Now we know that some are not faithful. That's got nothing to do with you. Your covenant with God is that 10% goes into the house of the Lord, and then whoever receives it has their own covenant with God and are responsible and will be held accountable for that. You're going to be held accountable for where you take your 10%.
Yeah.
And then planting a seed. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, so I guess planting a seed will basically it could be sowing into someone's life.
Yeah.
It could be giving with an expectation for your own beliefs or promises that you think God has prompted you to give into.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, and this is the thing about, I don't want to preach now. Now I feel like saying I should. But the thing is that a lot of times, if you want money, you have to plant money.
Yeah.
And if you want, so it's the same.
If you want love, give
it's
love.
It's really farming, actually.
Yeah.
It's not even. This is not even preaching.
Yeah,
This is agriculture. So if you want, like an apple tree, you need to plant apple seeds. So that would be what sowing a seed would be. Is to say, what is it that you want to grow, and what is it that you have in connection to what you want to grow that you can sow in good soil.
Yeah, in good soil. Yeah.
In good soil. So then you get to choose, I guess, or you get to hear where God tells you where good soil is.
Yeah.
Sometimes good soil will be the widows.
Yeah.
Sometimes good soil will be your pastor or
Sometimes your
a
parents.
family member or a friend who needs something.
Sometimes even your spouse. Like I've had times where I heard God said, "I must sow into your life."
Yeah.
And it's just having
And
that
I've sowed
relationship.
into
And
your
you've
life.
sowed into my life. I mean, some of the seeds that we've
That was a
sown.
good seed.
That was a good seed.
That's a big
Listen,
tree.
I'm some good soil.
That's a big tree. That's a big tree.
We've sowed for financial freedom. We've sowed for children. We've sowed for healing. We've sowed for a house. Anything.
Everything
you can
we
sow for,
have,
we've
best
sowed
believe
for.
there's a seed somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Last two. I have our phones no-go areas in marriages and how to navigate the convo if you find something fishy on a partner's phone. A phone, nothing is a no-go area.
Phones, it's up to you. You get to decide what you get to decide.
In our house.
Phones are a no-go area. But no. Like
In our house.
phones are not.
Yeah.
In our house there is no no-go area.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
What's leading me? There's a spirit here. But look, I've heard both sides. I've heard people give really great arguments for why people shouldn't check each other's phones.
Like what?
Like
Respect.
privacy. Sometimes someone is planning something nice for you,
Yeah.
and then you find it.
Well, I think maybe let's elaborate. So we're not going through each other's phones.
Going through is going through.
No, Brendan. But like if your phone's there and it's ringing, can I answer it or not?
Yes, but you see, maybe you answered Ganti. I was in my photos,
But
and in my photo, I took a photo
Please, my
of
guy.
this nice shoe
My guy.
that you've been telling me about,
No.
and now being sasbuga lesicatula les.
And mina sengizibone-
bengisathi ngiyasibheka lesicatula
Mina
bese wena
sengizibonile.
sophendula ifoni
I
manje
just,
sobona ilona.
I think to it shouldn't be like no one should like jump when someone's phone's ringing or it's sitting there. But also I think we should respect each other, that it's
I
my
think-
private
yeah.
phone. Like I don't like, it's not nice if I just find you going through my phone. It's like, ufunani? Like
Yeah,
what's
it's
going on?
a little weird.
It's weird, yeah.
So you don't know which side you're playing for.
No,
Lisa.
I'm for it shouldn't be a no-go, but it's the same way I wouldn't just take your card and go start shopping and swiping. That's just rude. But I can come to you and say, hey, can I borrow your card? And then you say yes, and then I go shop.
Yeah, but
and you
I
give me the
think,
bid.
I think that's a personal thing. It's a personal taste.
Okay, it's a personal thing.
That's why I'm saying you must work out your own salvation.
But she found something fishy.
Hey,
Uyithole kanjani?
that's another story.
If you found something fishy into your husband, you're allowed to ask,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then you'll apologize for fishing.
Well, a lot of times I find when you guys find something fishy, you think there's something fishy is now more important than the first rule that was broken.
Oh, well, it is. Why do you have something fishy?
It's both crimes. Ken.
Committing murder and stealing chappies is not the same thing. The sentence is not going to be the same. But just to even conclude this whole thing is that even in our Q&A, our answers are not the way, the truth, and the life. It is just our opinions, and it's just fun to be able to converse. And I think it leads to greater conversations and opens up our minds. So don't
Yes.
take everything as fact and now go bulldoze your home.
Yeah, no, guys, this is just our opinion. It's based on our experiences.
Yeah.
So obviously take it with a grain of salt or some sugar or whatever makes it taste better for you. But yeah, it's always fun to respond because we do get a lot of questions on a weekly basis.
Daily.
Daily actually. Yeah. But we try to answer some of the most common ones with this video. So we hope you guys loved this video, and please do subscribe. Don't forget, guys. Subscribe and drop a comment.
It's free.
Yeah, drop a comment of whatever you thought was interesting, and like the video. And we'll see you guys
Next week.
No,
No, I'm thinking when we're going to see everyone.
yeah,
Next
and
week.
we'll see you guys. Yeah,
Next
next week, or maybe Friday, baby. Okay, we'll see you guys next
We love
week.
you guys. God bless you.
Shop.
This is our love.